Up next is Retroid Cartridge. A similar but not quite the same idea here. Comes at a similar idea from a very different perspective. Bop the audio just in case. Yeah, the UI is a little loud still. Bump that, bump that. The UI is still loud. That one? It should be fine. Give you guys back audio, and we'll just hope for the best on that one. Go. ID 01, system boot complete. Initiating final protocol. You're awake. Welcome. I'm Bunny Wing, your tactical drone. Let's check your mobility first. Mobility looks good. Your systems are fine, but you lack combat data. You can't face the Overmind Legion yet. So what do I need to do? And what happened to the doctor? The doctor who created us has been captured by the Overmind army. To test your combat functions, head to the Legion's forward factory, Inspire Foundry, and defeat them in your first battle. Defeat 10 enemies. Alright. Got a booster. We can't attack yet. We'll have to actually get into the main area before we can attack, but WASD moves us around, space boosts us around, things of that nature. E is, of course, your interact. You'll notice there's 4 chapters. I doubt we can do all of the chapters. We probably can only do, like, chapter 1 during the demo. We're almost there. Victor's robots guard this factory. They might be linked to the doctor's disappearance. We'll search for materials and any trace of the doctor. Watch your health and battery. If either runs out, you'll shut down. I'll recover you and save your data. You can redeploy again. Got it. We've arrived. So here we are. I've safely entered the factory. Starting exploration. Remote battery fully charged. Yeah, you'll notice we do have a time limit on that battery. I need to finish before the battery runs out. So we can swing our wrench around, we can dash, and that seems to be about all we can do at the moment. I'm sure we'll pick up more as we go. Assuming these nuts and bolts are useful to me, and the gears, of course, as well. Notice that our battery is running down very quickly, though. It is actually, like, real 4 minutes, I think. So that's concerning. There must be a way to regenerate it somehow. Like a means to recharge or something. Unless you, like, recharge per stage, which is entirely possible. It's definitely a way to keep people from just sitting around on a stage just dawdling and grabbing everything, I suppose. Get the shooter first. There we go. Because now that I got the timing down on those saw guys, they're not really that big a deal. Okay, I can just dash through the laser while it's active as well. Good to know. Nice and easy. Got 7 gears and about 300 bolts so far. Yep. Cleared Victor's robots in this area. Hack the terminal by the door to get growth data. Okay. I'm gonna guess that's our upgrade for this stage, probably. First, goodies. Gotta get paid after all. We did the work. Gotta get the money for it. System access complete. To upgrade with hacked data, you need alloy from battle. You can also spend HP to upgrade. Time to power up the cartridge. I appreciate that they blow in the cartridge as they're putting it in there too. Okay, so we got the melee cartridge upgrade. We can upgrade a pipe wrench to a pipe wrench power plus 10%. The old wrench the doctor used to assemble the robot by hand. Its well-balanced weight, refined over the years, enables a swift 3-hit attack combo. We could pass on this, but I don't really know if this benefits me to pass on. It is most of our money to upgrade this, but I think 10% more power is worth it. Just slap the cartridge back in our chest and move on. Oh, okay, so there's enemy traits and no new enemies, I presume, coming in. So we have Razor performs dash attacks now. Razor being the saw blade bot we were dealing with. You'll notice our battery did not recharge. So we do have to actually go through multiple stages within our battery time limit, it seems. There was his dash attack getting ready to come out. That does make him slightly more dangerous, I gotta say. But he's still slow. So as long as I don't get greedy like I've been doing occasionally, we'll be pretty much safe here. Okay, that dash attack does cover more ground than it looks like it does, though. So I'll have to keep that in mind. We are slowly getting chipped to death by the sawbots, I will give them that much. Walked right into that laser. There's a delay on that charge hitting. I need to remember that. We're also almost certainly gonna die at this point. We went from doing pretty well to suddenly ow, 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 ow. We don't seem to have a healing ability of any kind, currently at least. Yep. It's a good thing they just don't stop BunnyBot from just picking us up and running away, eh? So we got our 10 enemy reward. Great job handling the Legion in your first fight. You got a module as a reward, right? Modules are used in the frame chamber to boost or add core abilities. You'll also need enough battery capacity to stay active. Try upgrading the battery. Okay. It felt like that was too short. Now it makes sense. We can get extra dashes, or we can start getting battery usage instead of alloys spent for our upgrades. And extra pickup range. Meh. I definitely want the extra dash. The extra dash seems like the winning choice here. During combat, I found new cartridge weapon data hidden in by the doctor. You can't use it right away, but if you reach the end of a stage and hack the Legion systems, the new cartridge weapon will be loaded and ready. Ah. So we got the Volt Rod. Cartridge codename InZone. Snipe distant enemies without risk or destroy multiple foes with a charged attack. So if I need weapons, I'll have to clear the Legion in a stage and hack the system. Exactly. But cartridge data from the Legion systems only lasts for that battle. Now, head to the factory and try out the new cartridge weapon, Bolt Rod. Beat 10 enemies using Volt Rod cartridge. Was it Volt Rod or Bolt Rod? You can't seem to make up your mind which one it is. Oh, we do have other slots. Ooh. Small crates have a 10% chance to drop a small battery item that restores 5% energy. Booster upgrade extends dash distance by 1 meter, letting you cover more distance in one dash. It reduces damage taken by 5% with an upgraded reinforced shell. Hacking options with higher grades and 5 growth stages appear slightly more frequently. Let's go ahead and take that chance to have battery items appear, because that will make a very big difference for us. Because that'll buy us a lot more time. Okay, yeah, everything looks pretty much fine. Off we go. Stage 1. I wonder if the Sawbots will get the upgrade again this time, or if it's random what upgrades happen per stage. Because that would be interesting if they got different upgrades. Like the Gunners would get something this time, or some different variation for like the little wrench guys or something. Admittedly, I wouldn't be surprised if variations like that are something for the full version to handle. Get rid of all the little guys. Get rid of the shooter. My attack went through him, so that's a little bit of a thing. Yeah, this seems solid so far. I'm not blown away by this one yet. But it doesn't seem like overly difficult or anything either. And there's good potential here. I think this may just be one that's a little earlier on than some of the other demos. Like I've mentioned with a couple other ones by now. Where you can kind of tell the development stage things are at by their demo. Obviously, that's not always a guaranteed statement. Some of them will be very far along, but their demo will still be much more limited because either the demo is based on an early version or they decided to hold back a lot of things from their demo. All of those are things that can and will happen depending on the group you're working with on that. That's a lot of saws. Kind of glad I committed to swinging there, because otherwise I think we might have had a problem. This was a much smoother stage 1, though, I think, than the last one. But also we know a little bit more about what we're fighting and what we're doing. Okay. Get our range cartridge for free. Ah, now right-clicks the shoot option. I see. And it still Razor performs dash attacks. Alright. But now we have a gun arm, so that's fun. Looks like the lay of the land is mostly the same, too. Yeah, having a gun arm will make a very big difference in our overall play. Especially since it's got an area to it. Ooh, purple box. What's in the box? I got a chip of some kind. There. Oh, we'll find out what those are for later, I'm sure. Wow, the charge shot does a lot. I was not expecting this to delete him. Yeah, no, this gun has added so much more to my play here. I'm very happy to have gotten this. But I kind of see why they don't give it to you for your first run out. Because I feel like people wouldn't really develop the same play-wise if you give them the gun right away. Like, I think a reliance on the gun would end up developing if they don't end up having to work with the wrench first. Not that a reliance on the gun won't end up happening for some players in the player base anyway, myself included, because the gun is just so nice. But it somewhat at least encourages a mixed play. We're gonna run out of battery here, sharpish though. That is if I don't just die brawling in the pile like that. Okay, at least we're gonna manage to get through this stage. Doesn't really matter too much what I pick here, but I want to look. Yeah, none of these give me energy. So... I mean, I don't think we keep the alloy between rounds. But I do like you can refresh it, so let's take a look at what we could potentially get. Nope. Okay, that's all I'm going to be able to afford to cycle through, so we'll grab that, I guess. All enemies leveled up, plus 15% HP, plus 15% power. Well, that's upsetting to see. We're gonna shut down in 4 minutes, so hopefully... Oh, never mind. 4 seconds, rather. Interesting that they don't attack me when I shut down. I just suddenly just go right in front of them, and they just stare at me like, huh, weird. Where do I use the processor I just got? The processor is a rare resource used to upgrade cartridge weapons at the doctor's retro station. Use it there or to strengthen your weapons for the next fight. Upgrade pipe wrench cartridge 1 times at retro station. Sure thing. So we can get... Third hit does 1.5 damage, attack power increase, third hit gains a multiplier, attack power greatly increased by 10%, third hit has a 10% chance to restore 0.1% battery. Neat. We have a bunch of these, so we're obviously going to grab the basic upgrade for this because we're going to get a reward for doing so anyway. And the Volt Rod, ooh, gets faster charge time, yes. Because the charge was getting me in trouble when I tried to use it. Cooldown reduction and increased damage. And full charge gets a wider area and attack power increased by 10%. I think I'm going to save my remaining modules for a moment here, see if we get anything else in the demo. Our trusty pipe wrench just got stronger. Now let's push farther toward the distant regions where the doctor is. We'll need plenty of resources, modules, and processors to face tougher enemies ahead. Got it. I'll search for and open every resource crate I can find. Clear stage 3 in chapter 1. Let's go ahead and have the improvement for the batteries. That seems like a good idea. And fortunately, I can't quite afford the damage reduction now because I took the battery thing, but we survived just fine till our battery ran out, so I do think we're currently okay as far as battery goes. I guess let's take the better hacking upgrades show up. 1% heal on skipping hacking choices, huh? That doesn't seem worth it. Like, unless your options are horrendous, I don't think you'd ever take that at trade. Oh, back in we go. And the fact that we have a goal to beat Chapter 3 kind of indicates to me that we are actually meant to be able to get to Chapter 3 in the demo. We've not been managing to get through Chapter 1 with our current battery. We're a little bit stronger now, though, so we're clearing a bit faster. Yeah, they certainly don't have to tell me twice about opening every resource chest I come across. Though it does cost battery to keep running around opening these, since it takes time for the items to land. Okay, I think my order of operations is changing a little bit. I think the shooters don't have to be first. Is they're kind of slow to fire, and as long as I'm paying attention to where they're shooting, they're really not much of a threat. The saws remain the greater threat. I know the odds of me getting the batteries was low, but I really feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick on the batteries so far. Leave any alloy behind. Though with how much of it we got by the end of the second stage, I really don't think we're gonna have too much of a problem there. Our biggest problem is gonna remain running out of battery all the time. Obviously, we're taking the Volt Rod back because the Volt Rod's real good. I do wonder if you'd get, like, other weapon options there, or if it just gives you one and it's like, hey, this is the weapon you're getting. So the more weapons you have, you might actually end up with, like, unfavorable options there. Possible. The audio balance on this is a little all over the place. I do think they could do to tune that a little bit. It's not outrageously out of balance, just like the saw sound, for example, is louder than everything else. Which is important for it to be loud, don't get me wrong. It needs to give you good warning, hey, that's incoming. But I do think it's a little too much louder than the rest of the sound effects still anyway. That's a small thing, I would say. Like, I would definitely say it's a larger problem that it sometimes seems to hit a little bit out of its actual animation. That one I just kind of stood and took that because I was curious to see how that was going to play out. And it worked out in my favor for the most part. He still died. I just, you know, took a little bit more damage than I would have wanted to out of that exchange. Help if I didn't dash into a corner, huh? A little bit more of a delay between swings than I thought I was gonna have there. I'm becoming increasingly convinced that the battery recharge things don't exist. Like, the containers just never drop them. We did come through there with a bit more time than last time, though. Oh, there we go. Battery consumption rate down 20%. It's a shame I can't afford it. It's kind of expensive. Well, then. If we'd gotten it last time, we could have afforded it, and that's kind of upsetting a little bit. Guess I'll go ahead and take the max health increase, not that it's gonna matter here. Yep, all enemies leveled up. Because all the health in the world's not gonna matter if our battery dies on us, which, hey, what do you know, our battery's gonna die on us again. Like, having even, like, a minor amount of battery generation from killing enemies, I think, would make a big difference for how many attempts it takes before you can start actually generating a real amount of progress. The only other thing I could think of is, like, genuinely just speed running through this. Don't even look at containers, just go. But I would definitely say that's a bit of an unfortunate method to have to take just to be able to get anywhere. Obviously, we'll upgrade our battery total again and see if that makes enough of a difference. Yeah, I guess we should probably upgrade our wrench as well, see if that expedites things. There we go, we got a 6% power increase. I was intending on saving that to see if we got other weapons, but at the rate we're not making progress, I kind of don't have a choice. That's what I was afraid of, is with a 6% increase, it's literally just a 5 damage increase since our attacks were already doing 100. Not enough to make a solid bit of difference. The other one only has regular coins in it usually, so I'm just not even going to bother with that one. We'll just trim that out to go faster. The main problem I'm seeing with trying to rush is we're going to get a lot less alloy. Not to mention less gears. Ow. So we more than likely won't be able to afford to get any serious upgrades if I rush too hard. Because like these end of stage conflicts, for example, do give a good amount. They wouldn't be enough on their own. Get the Volt Rod back. We almost couldn't afford the Volt Rod, which would be another problem. Oh, there we go. Boomling explodes 50% faster, so it was just coincidence that we got the Saw guy twice. Okay. Good to know. Them not having dash attacks is also going to make a massive difference in our gameplay in this segment. I can bide my time with my charge shots a bit more on them now, because I don't have to worry about them rushing me. Really? That last swing didn't hit him somehow, huh? Okay. Look how much more we're flying through this now that I don't have to worry about their dash attacks all the time. Of course, we have extended time a bit as well, so that obviously is making a difference. And honestly, the Boomling is exploding 50% faster. Not even sure that's a relevant mechanic, if I'm honest. Considering there was a one Boomling in this stage, and the enemy composition's the same. So it's a little bit of an odd one there. I'm tempted by the move speed. I'm glad battery charge is paused here. I can't really re-roll because if I re-roll, I'm not getting anything because I won't have any money left. Dash cell recovery speed sounds like a good idea, except we have charges we're not even using, so I don't think we need that. There's a lot of time I'm not even using that second charge that I have. I only need one to get away from what I need to get away from. So it's between the speed booster and the HP. The HP puts us up to 600 health. We learned that last time. So there's a logic to that, but I think I may actually give the move speed a try, because it may mean that we don't have to dash every time we try to avoid an enemy. Not to mention, moving faster is going to mean we use less battery getting from A to B. And now we finally actually have a relevant amount of battery to do this stage with. But I remember, it takes an extra hit to kill the Sawbots now. Hope it's their upgrade. Not gonna worry about grabbing every single coin, just need to be on the move. Gotta say, the level design is a little bit samey here so far, though. A lot of this has been laid out basically the same, just with, like, one small change. Like, for example, those aggressive claws are here now. Not that they're much of a threat. I think they'd be much better served if there was an actual enemy in the way. I do like the idea of them being mixed in with the regular claws, though. Not that I am happy about that, but I do like the idea that there's a hidden threat there a little bit. I think that makes them way more relevant. Because otherwise, honestly, you could probably just ignore that they're even there, because you move past them fast enough that they won't even hit you. So this was the Legion's lab. They left resources behind. Hack the terminal, open the door, and take them. Alright. First chamber, break the relics. Didn't even have a chance to read all the text there, but I get the idea here. Break all the relics in time. And I win. The hack triggered their brutal experiments. Better watch these labs from now on. Let's grab the resources left here. Mission clear. Yay. Oh, nice. We actually got a battery boost there. We actually have a new lease on life for a little bit. Not that we have a lot of health to use with it, but gives me a chance of making it through here. Nice. Just gotta be a little clever and use my gun to my advantage where I can. It didn't take my dash input. You probably heard the slam of the spacebar before the shot happened. I think I hit just the right spot where you couldn't dash out of a move you were doing. Ah, that's such a heartbreaker. We were actually getting there. Actually, yeah, it's stage 3 in chapter 1, not chapter 3. What was I talking about earlier? I swear. Sometimes I wonder where my head's at. Probably get the damage reduction next. Yeah. There we go. Because I didn't have any battery increases to get at the moment. Yeah, further reduced charge times. There you go. This is enjoyable. A little basic. I do hope that they do more with it when the full version comes about. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan of being on a constant timer. But at least you have decent ways to extend it, so it's not too bad. I do think most of my deaths would have been avoided if the timer was not present. Considering we died once to the actual battery life running out, and the fact that I make a lot of mistakes because I'm trying to rush to preserve battery life. So I think, like, just a default slight increase to the battery would not be unreasonable to ask for, considering how little progress you make at first with the battery you have default. I don't mind the idea of having to trade between making forward progress and getting resources, because obviously you can't scope out the whole map and get resources if you want to keep your battery from running dry. That kind of balance does make sense. It's just unfortunate just how stringent it is at the moment. It also leaves you very little room to think about things as you're doing them. You just have to do. Just do and go. Do and go. Otherwise, you're losing unnecessary battery power. Okay, we got the dash attacks again. Great. Really should be using the gun way more without even needing to charge it. So I keep thinking that the charge is how it does the 600. It's genuinely just you blast them and they're gone. Which is probably going to make a very big difference in how long it takes for us to get through an area. So I can just blast the first racer I encounter. Like, that room got cleared way faster. There we go, another room cleared. I'm getting chewed up pretty bad. I'm being real sloppy. But I am trying to go quick. And I'm testing out a different tempo compared to what I've been doing before. And this tempo, not really working for me. Getting me in trouble more than it's helping me. Especially when I miss my shots on the ranged guys. Cartridge purchase cost being cheaper isn't a bad thing, but I think I'm going to take the chance on gaining modules here. In the hopes that we can drag a little bit more resource generation out of this. And with it being a 5% chance, I'm not really sure we're going to get too much out of it. But I've been absurdly lucky before. So it wouldn't be asking too much for me to get lucky again. But then again, apparently asking for any of the battery drops to happen is asking too much, so what do I know? Alright. Another room down. I think this is the first time we've had to deal with the lasers going this way, isn't it? Disagree with all of that. Oh, nice. Got some free gears, at least. It's a shame we only have 40 seconds left on this stage. See if we can quickly do the trial. Or, you know, I'll just completely not have him turn the way I wanted him to, and we just miss our target completely. I think what happened is, in the time I turned the mouse, I clicked before I finished turning to where I wanted to go, so he swung too early and didn't follow the track as intended. Which is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, basically my fault. I guess we'll grab the pickup range. Because we do have to walk rather close to things to pick them up, so having to walk less to pick things up will save time. I'll give this credit for the fact that the runs are quickfire, like you're in, and then out, in, then out. Which, I'm assuming that's part of the benefit of the timer, is the fact that it makes runs snappier. They can't get delayed too much by, like, you trying to roach out a run by, like, hiding in corners and sneaking around and trying to take odd angles to try to avoid getting bullied. You have to take them head on, or you burn too much battery time. Definitely rewards aggressive play, which I'm fine with that. Which, shock and horror that I am fine with something that rewards aggressively playing. As a very aggressive player. Okay, no, those are the dash charges. Just didn't seem like it. Alright. Oh, there was 2 bombers that time. Maybe there is some variation, and I just never noticed. Though there was so much of a mess there that I genuinely couldn't tell which way I was facing anymore in any good way. So that's something to keep in mind. As a downside to enemy parts still remaining in the field when they break, you can lose track of yourself a little bit. Like, I could tell where I was, but I couldn't 100% tell where I was facing. 24% of my battery for that? Are you fucking kidding me? In what world is that a good trade? That there has to be a way to generate more battery or something. Ooh, 30% chance jars explode after breaking. Interesting. That's a different upgrade. I'm glad they got another different upgrade. Especially one that didn't actually make any of their units better. This jars exploding really is a non-issue for me. Especially since it's only a 30% chance. Those blow up too, okay. So it's not just the little round jars. I didn't figure. The fact you can get stuck on enemies a bit, though, is a little upsetting. One would think that your dash would take you through enemies, because so many other games do that. But apparently not so much here. Which makes it a little problematic, because some of these enemies are really wide. Like, the Sawbots in particular have a very wide stance. So it's very easy for you to just get caught, like, on their arm when you're trying to dodge around them. Especially in situations where you don't have a lot of room. So I think either tightening that up a little bit or making it so at least you have like an upgrade that can let you dash through enemies might be nice. And I'm not talking like a meta progression upgrade, I'm talking like a temporary in-combat upgrade, like mid-run. One of these upgrades to get for the cartridge. This way it's a purely optional thing and you either will or won't get it to keep it reasonable. But I think it would be a useful one to have. And it may even be in here already and I just haven't seen it. Ew. I don't really want any of these. Yeah, I guess I'll take the range damage taken reduced. It's the only one I could afford at that point. At least it's something. There's the all enemies powered up. Yep. Got a minute and a half to get through here. Biggest problem is not a lot of health to do it with. So rushing is going to be risky. But we have to. Otherwise we just die. Huh? I'm gonna guess I was in range of that jar exploding and I couldn't tell. So I guess the jar exploding thing was more of an issue than I thought it would be. But part of that was not being able to quite tell the radius of those blasts. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the minimap upgrade at this point. Really not much I can do with a 20 point remainder here. Don't have enough modules to do anything either. This is the thing I was kind of afraid of with the way the battery system works though, is you start running into just a loop where you have to do just everything really right to not end up just doing the same thing over and over again and without any change in your progression. But what I'm going to do to try to fix that here is I'm just going to rush forward. See just how much of a disadvantage it is actually to rush. Because we tested rushing a little bit, but not quite full sending. And even now, I'm not, like, full sending. I'm trying to ensure that I can afford the gun at the end of the stage. Which we should be able to with this much. We are 2 points short. There we go. Is the amount you get from each of those alloy drops is seemingly random, which can be kind of an inconvenience, and we really didn't save much time because I had to go fishing through the barrels in that room. Don't worry about that side room. Nice. Getting a bit smoother about these things. I thought they were in range of the blast as from an uncharged shot, because there is a little bit of radius to even an uncharged shot. And I noticed you just have to have them be really, really tight together for the AoE to hit them. And unfortunately, they were not as tight as I thought they were. The fact that they can aim those dashes mid-dash also kind of blows. Not really the happiest with that one. Because it makes it so hard to dodge that. Like, I'm out of the way of it. Oh, he's turning. Never mind. Whack. doesn't feel the best. Can't afford any of these. Which that is one thing, is you kind of do have a power disadvantage a little bit by rushing forward. Guess who forgot about the arms in that moment because I'm trying to focus on explaining a thought rather than guaranteeing my safety. We also have a different layout this time, which also threw me off a little bit. Like, it's not a majorly different layout, but it's a little bit different. Okay. Let's see about doing this, so this is gonna be dangerous. Oh, I need to do this without taking a hit, huh? Yikes. There we go. Thankfully, it was the right kind of layout for me to be able to do that. Okay, we did get a battery boost out of that, too. I was kind of hoping that that was a consistent thing from those trials, which is the main reason I even went for it again, if I'm honest. Why is it still marked? I'm gonna waste some battery here, but I need to understand what's going on with that. I don't know if it's a glitch that it's still there, or if I can, like, do it again, or... Nope, I can't interact with that, so that probably should get fixed. That probably shouldn't stay marked on your minimap when the trial has been already completed. If any devs of this game are out there, you might wanna fix that. That's a pretty glaring issue. It's easy enough for people to just remember not to go back to it, but it shouldn't still be marked in the first place, realistically. But if that's one of the few things I'm pointing out as a negative, then, you know, maybe that's fine. I do hope that there's going to be more enemy variety and more just combat variety in general going forward, though. That is another thing. Is so far, just having this one 3-hit weapon and one gun is a little a little bland. And after the first, like, 4 runs. But we already saw there were slots for more weapon cartridges, so we know that there's going to be more options. Sure. I'll take a damage increase for my gun. Not that it really needs it, but, you know. Oh, wow. I was kind of expecting Stage 3 to be the end, if I'm honest. Next attack cooldown for Wrench Boys down 40%, so they attack fast now. So Wrench Boys might be a credible threat, but we also don't have any time to do this stage with anyway, unless I hit this trial fast. Which I don't know where in the area the trial is, so it might take too long to get there. Like, obviously I see it on the minimap, but that doesn't mean I know exactly where in the lay of the land it is. It's up past the next part. I do really wish you could dash out of your wrench attacks, too. That is a nitpick thing more than anything, but I do really wish you could dash out of those attacks. Now I'm ready to face the Legion. Clear the enemies in the factory's final area to move on to the next region. That zone's got tougher enemies than before, be ready. I feel like those lines were reversed. I feel like he was supposed to be saying what the bunny bot was saying. probably should get the extra 20% battery. Is the small battery recovery items restoring more would be nice, but I'm just really not seeing the 5% battery life things to begin with. So I don't really know if there's much point to that. It's either that or the 10% and damage reduction instead of the 5%. But I feel like 20% more battery would mean I can travel further without having to rush. So I'd be able to pick up more stuff along the way, or just be more careful in combat in general. So one way or the other, it still works out as being more health, if that makes sense. I assume that's gonna be like 6 or 7 minutes time in run now. Yeah, 6.5. This last one was 5 minutes. Which does mean we have enough time for this run and probably no other attempts. Which that should say something positive about this, that even though these runs are short, I was willing to do every run I could within the hour time frame. I don't know if I'll be like highly anticipating this one necessarily. It's gonna depend very heavily on how much growth I see for the game between now and release. And it depends on, of course, if it's an early access release or not as well. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this one. I just am really hoping for a bit more dynamic combat setup by the time the full game exists. Because for a game that puts you on a timer, there's just like that tiniest touch too much clunk to the combat, I would say. Like, I feel like those two parts of the game kind of work against each other a little bit. Because if it's trying to push you towards playing aggressively, you need to have the capacity to play more aggressively. Which we only kind of have. Like, obviously I can risk taking a hit to just swing a couple more times, and that is still more aggressive play than if I'm constantly making sure to dodge everything. That's not quite the aggressive play that I think there's potential to have in something like this. Like, give me things that, like, extend my combo, but put me more at risk of getting hit, or things like that. That's the kind of thing that a game like this feels like it's lacking a little bit. But again, that may come with other weapon options and such as well. Because again, this is just a demo, so you got some mileage room there. And I still say that that dash attack probably shouldn't be as wide as it is. Because if he's passing me by that far, I feel like his dash shouldn't be hitting me. Like, he is hitting, like, the county around him sometimes, and it's just not great. Ooh, restore 1 health per second. Why is this one so cheap? The pricing on some of these upgrades doesn't make sense. So, my hair stopped tickling my nose for a moment, so I stop getting constantly distracted by that. That'd be great. Like, there's just one loose hair that just refuses to move from that spot, and it's just distracting the hell out of me. The trial's in a different spot this time. Let's just rush the trial. It's not over here. I thought it was over here, but it's not over here. It's the next one down, I assume. I did that thing again where I think I can walk between their shots and I can't. Whoa! I don't know what that giant death circle there was, but I don't like it. That was very unfortunate that my shot hit the barricade. How did you survive all of that? Okay, what's the challenge this time? Enemy swarming. Okay. I once again disagree with that not counting. Three and one, there we go. Nice and easy. That was definitely worth the trip. Opal, thank you for the raid. What were you up to today? Hopefully you all had a good time with whatever it was. You're just in time for us to be getting toward the end of our second demo of the day, but it's been a good time so far. Let me go ahead and snooze that ad to buy y'all some time, since the ad was about to kick in here in about a minute or two. But to catch you all up on what we're doing here right now, this is our second demo. This one specifically is Retroid Cartridge, and it's been a solid time so far. Every demo we're doing today is getting about an hour at a time. The first one we played was Rebel Engine, if anyone has any interest in that one as well. But do tell, what were you up to today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Sounds good, sounds good. Glad you're doing well. So far, so good today. Demo's been nice and solid. Rebel Engine was a little rough around the edges, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, I did see you were playing some variation on Skyrim. Hopefully you didn't have any issues with the mods. I know sometimes Skyrim can be a little funny about the stability, to put it mildly. Finish this stage up and then we'll hop to the next demo, and I will give you all the store page in case you wish to wishlist it. Glad you were able to fix them. That is always the worst thing with modding, unfortunately, is the gamble for stability. Ooh, the shooters get twice as many shots. That would have been a new one to deal with, but the hour is up. So there is the store page if anybody wishes to try the demo out for yourself.